Hi, so buddies, it's your girl Whitney Highway here, and you're highly welcome back to this YouTube channel. And if it's your first time here, you're highly welcome to this amazing space. In this video, we're going to learn how to make this shirt with a short zip at the front and a collar. It can be combined with either a short or trouser to make a fine two-piece outfit for men. The one I'm actually putting on is for my male customer, and of course it's with his permission. They're actually not my size, but I had to put it on so you can see how fine it looks. So if you're interested in making this cool shirt, then do well and keep watching, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I also made a video on how to make the shorts for men, which is also referred to as knicker in some parts of the world, with easy steps. So if you're interested, the link will be on the description box or pinned on the comments section. So do well and keep watching, and do not touch the dial. Here is the fabric that I will use for making this shirt, and it is 1.5 yards, and it is a crepe material. Yes, so try and get a good quality crepe material. You also need an ST and also the short zip, and I'll be drafting on the pattern paper before transferring it to the fabric, but if you wish, you can draft directly on your fabric. So the first step in drafting is I come down by 1 inch from the beginning of my pattern paper like this. You can also do the same for your fabric. That is, after folding your fabric into two, you come down by 1 inch from the beginning of your fabric, and then you connect the dots together to get a straight line. So that will serve as the starting line or the top line. Now on this starting line, I am going to divide my shoulder measurement by 2 and mark it out. So the shoulder measurement I am working with is 18 inches. Divided by 2 will give me 9 inches, and I'll go ahead and mark it out on the starting line here like this. Moving on, it's time to calculate for the armhole depth, and the formula I used is displayed on the screen. So my round chest measurement is 34 divided by 6 plus 1.5 gives me 7.1 inches, which I've marked out. So yeah, I'm just marking out the shoulder measurement again so that I'll get a straight line when I'm connecting the armhole depth straight to the shoulder like this. Moving on, it's time to divide the round chest measurement by 4. So 34 divided by 4 gives me 8.5 inches. And that is what I am marking out here like this. And I'll go ahead and add 3 inches. Now 2 inches is for the ease allowance and 1 inch is for the sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect this together to get a straight line like this. So this line is the chest line. Moving on, it's time to mark out the neck width. Now, my client is a slim person, so I'm making use of 2.8 inches as the neck width. Now, for a fat person, you can make use of 3 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark out 2.8 inches here. And from the shoulder, I'll come down by 1 inch. Ideally, the shoulder for men comes down more than this. Well, for me, I just settled for 1 inch. So if you wish, you can come down by 1.5 inch. So I connected the shoulder slope to the neck width. Then for the neck depth, I came down by 3 inches, and I'll go ahead and connect the neck width to the neck depth like this to get a curve like so. Moving on, it's time to draw the armhole curve, and to do that, I'll go ahead and get the midpoint from the shoulder slope to the chest line by placing my tape like this and folding it over into 2, or whatever I get, I will divide it by 2 and mark it out to get the midpoint. From this midpoint, I will come in by 1/2 inch here, and I'll go ahead and connect these 3 points together to get the armhole curve like so. After marking out an armhole curve, the next step is to go ahead and mark out how long you want your shirt to be. So for me, I want the length of the shirt to be 25 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark out 25 inches. You can see the way I'm placing my tape. And this is how long my customer wants the shirt to be. After marking this out, I'll bring in my rule and connect the dots together to get a straight line. And this line is referred to as the shirt length. Moving on, I'll go ahead and measure what I have on my chest line from one end to the other, and here I have 11.65. So I'll go ahead and measure that on the shirt length as well like this. So exactly what you have on the chest line, that's what you mark out on the shirt length. So now there are 2 ways to connect these 2 points together. You can either use a straight line like this, or you can just use a curve like this. That is, you just get a midpoint and go in by 1/2 inch and just curve like this. So it depends on the shape that you want for your shirt. If you want it to just be straight, no problem. If you want your shirt to have a little bit of curve, no problem. So moving on, this shirt is going to have a slit at the down part. So for the slit, I will come up by 4.5 inches. This is optional, but I want the shirt to have a slit. So I'll go up by 4.5 inches from the hem of the shirt, and I'll come out by 1 inch like this, and I'll connect it like so to get a small bust that is pushed out like this. So I'll connect the lines together, and this is what I have. So right now, I'll go ahead and cut this out. But before then, this pattern, I'm going to use it to cut out both the front and the back pattern. So for that reason, I'll be drafting out what I need for the back pattern as well. That would be the neckline and the armhole. Now for the armhole, for the back pattern, it's just to cut it straight like this and curve like so. Like this and curve. That is for the back pattern armhole. Now for the neckline, I will come down by 1 inch for the neck depth. That is the standard neck depth for all individuals. And this 1 inch, I'll connect it to the neck width like this to get the back neckline. So this is the back neckline, and I'll go ahead and bring in my scissors, and it is time to first of all cut out the back pattern. So I'll go ahead and cut out the back neckline, cut out the armhole for the back. You can see the way I did that. And for the side, I want it to have a curved side, so I followed the curved pattern, and I'll go ahead and cut out this pushed out bust. The allowances, I'll be leaving 2 inches allowance at the hem for turning the hem. And for the armhole, there is no need for allowance. For the side, we have already added 3 inches allowance. Then for the shoulder, 1/2 inch, and the neckline, 1/2 inch allowance. So I'll go ahead and use this to cut out the back pattern on my fabric. So this is it. I have cut out my fabric, my back pattern, and you can see the 1/2 inch allowance at the shoulder and at the neckline, and the armhole and the side you can see no allowance, and at the hem you can see the 2 inches allowance. So here at the 2 inches allowance, I'm just going to give here a little snip so that it's easier to know where my aiming allowance stops at or starts from. So right now I'll go ahead and take out the pattern paper. And this is my back fabric, or my back pattern fabric, and it is ready. So I'll just label it B, which refers to the back pattern. So now it's time to cut out the front pattern, but let me just open up the back pattern so you can see what I have. So I'll go ahead and iron this out. Right now for the front pattern, I'm just going to do a little readjustment, which is I'm going to cut out the neckline and the armhole. So I'll bring in my scissors and cut out the round neckline, and also cut out the armhole for the front pattern. And for the allowances, no allowance needed at the armhole, but at the shoulder 1/2 inch and neckline 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead and use this pattern to cut out the front fabric. So this is it. I have cut out the front fabric, and you can see the 1/2 inch allowance at the neckline and shoulder, and the 2 inches allowance at the hem. Now remember that there's going to be a short zip at the front. So for that reason, I'll come down by 5.5 inches from the neckline on the center front like this. I'll mark out 5.5 inches. Take note that I want this zip to be 6 inches deep, more of like 6 inches long. That is how long I want the zip to be. So right now, bring in my scissors and cut open the front slit on the fabric where the zip is going to be sewn to, as you can see. So I stopped at the 5.5 inches from the neckline. You can see the way I placed my tape on the pattern. Yes. So I'll go ahead and take out the front pattern paper like this. And I'll go ahead and label this fabric letter F, which refers to as the front pattern. So right now, I'll go ahead and open this up. And before I iron this out, or you can iron this out before you even do this, or before you even cut out your fabric. So what I'll go ahead and do is from this slit, I'll come down by 1/2 inch. From the end of the slit, I'll come down by 1/2 inch like this. Please watch. And from the slit, I'll go out by 0.25 inch on both sides like this. So on both sides of the slit, I'll mark out 0.25 inch, and I'll connect this to the 1/2 inch that I just marked out at the center front that I came down with from the slit. I hope you understand. So I'll do that, and it's going to give me a little square kind of shape like this. After doing this, I'll go ahead and draw a triangle like this with the pointy end of the triangle on the slits. I hope you understand. So this is what I have. Can you see it? So the pointy end of the triangle is on the slit, and I'll go ahead and bring in my scissors and cut to this end. So be very careful. Make sure your scissors only stops at the line that you've drawn, the little block lines that you've drawn, and that is it. So this is what I have, and I'll go ahead and iron this out while they are folded like this. And if you can come out by 0.1 inch instead of 0.25 inch on both sides of the slit, please do so that you can get a smaller or a tinier opening at the center front. After doing that, I'll also go ahead and turn the hem of the shirt by folding the 2 inches to the wrong side and then folding half an inch and run a straight stitch on it. This is it. As you can see, I have ironed the front opening, and for the hem, you can see I've done that as well. And this is for the front opening. You can see how I ironed it. You can see the both side of the opening, the way I folded it, and the triangle, the way I bent it over and folded it. Next is to bring in the hemming gum, and then I will slit it into two, cut it into two like this. And then I'll go ahead and place the hemming gum. Please just watch. I'll place the hemming gum like this on both sides of this folding that I just ironed. So I'll place the hemming gum like this. And I'll also place it like this on this little triangle that I ironed over. Please note that I'm going to fold it to the wrong side to iron with the hemming gum placed on it. So just know that all of this is done on the wrong side of the fabric. Then I'll bring in my zip, and in placing my zip, I'll make sure that I place the right side of my zip downward. And I'm going to place it like this with the right side of my zip facing downward, and the wrong side of the zip will obviously be facing me. So I'll go ahead and iron both sides of the zip to the foldings, and also I'll bring in my pins to hold the zip in place so that it doesn't fall off when I'm taking my fabric to my ironing table to iron this out. You can also do this zip arrangement on your ironing table. That way there is no need for you using your pins to hold it in place. You just go straight to ironing after properly placing the zip on the foldings with the hemming gum. And this is what the right side of the fabric will look like once I get to iron this out. So I'll go over to my ironing table right now and iron this out carefully. So this is what I have. I have ironed the zip to the front slits, as you can see on the center front, and you can see how neat it looks. So there are two ways to secure this zip further, which is you can just run a straight stitch close to the edge of these foldings and make sure the stitches are straight to give a neater finishing. So if you can achieve a straight stitch, then this method is good. But if you cannot, there is another method where the stitches are hidden. And for this method, we'll flip the fabric to the wrong side. And on the wrong side, I will carefully open the foldings. You know I used hemming gum, so I'll carefully open the foldings like this. So since you use hemming gum, the foldings will be glued to the zip. And I'll go ahead and stitch on the edge here. Are you seeing this edge that is showing after you've ironed this gator line? I'll go ahead and carefully stitch on it like this, straight down. And I'll also run a stitch on the gator line present on the little triangle. And you can see here, I've already run a stitch on this other side here. So once you do that, when you flip it to the right side, you can't get to see the stitches on the right side. And this also gives a neat professional look. So it's either you stitch on the right side of the fabric or on the gator side present on the wrong side of the foldings. Now that I have installed the zip, it's time to close up the shoulders and the side. So I'll go ahead and bring in my back pattern, and I'll place the back pattern on the front pattern, making sure that the right sides are facing each other. And I'll go ahead and close up the shoulders using the half an inch allowance that I left out while cutting out the fabric. I'll close up the shoulders here as well, leaving half an inch allowance. And on the side, I'll go ahead and close up the side using 1 inch allowance. I will stop here at the beginning of this push-out bust. And for the push-out bust, I'll go ahead and fold in half an inch like this, and then fold it in like this, and run a straight stitch at the edge to, secure the foldings. And that is how the slit is settled. So I'll go ahead and do this and come back and show you. So this is it. As you can see, I have closed up the shoulders, I have closed up the sides, as you can see. So right now it's time to go ahead and sew in a sleeve. And to be able to draft out the sleeve, I'll first of all measure around the armhole like this, and ensure to measure twice so that you have an accurate number. So initially, after measuring round, I got 17 inches, but I had to measure again off the camera and I ended up with 18 inches. So 18 inches it is. So right now I've brought out a piece of fabric and I folded it into two like this, as you can see, and I'll go ahead and come down by 1 inch from the beginning of the fabric, or just draw out a straight line that will serve as my starting line or top line, like this. Now from this starting line, I'll go ahead and mark out the carpet line. Now to get the carpet line, you divide your round chest measurement by 12 plus 1 inch. So for me, it is 3.8 inches, and that is what I'm marking out from the starting line. And after marking this out, I'll bring in my rule to connect the dots together to connect a straight line, and this line is referred to as the cap height line. So moving on, it's time to mark out how long I want this sleeve to be. So for this sleeve, I want it to be 11 inches long. So I'll go ahead and place my tape from the starting line and mark out the length for the sleeve. And as you can see, I'm also marking out the 2 inches for the hemming allowance. And after marking this out, I will connect the dots together to connect a straight line like this. So this line is the sleeve length, while the other line is for the hemming allowance, the 2 inches for the hemming allowance. Moving on, remember the round armhole measurements that I took earlier on? I got 18 inches. So I'll go ahead and divide it by 2, and whatever I get, I'll mark it out on the carpet line. So 18 divided by 2 gives me 9 inches, and that is what I've marked out on the carpet line. And on the sleeve length here, I'll divide my round bicep measurement by 2 and add 1.5 inch allowance and mark it out. So my round bicep measurement is 12 divided by 2 gives me 6, and I added 1.5 inches, making it 7.5 inches. That is what I marked out on the sleeve length and hemming line, and I connected this to the cap height like this to give me a slanted line. Moving on, I'll go ahead and connect what I marked out on this carpet line to this edge of the starting line here to give me this triangle kind of shape, and then I'll get the midpoint of this triangular line like this by folding my tape into 2, or whatever I get, I'll divide it into 2 and mark it out here. And from the midpoint, I will go up here by half an inch. From the midpoint, I'll go up by half an inch, and I will go ahead and draw an S kind of curve or shape to connect these 3 points together like this. And then I'll flip my curve rule over to the other side and do it like this. You can actually use your hands to draw the curve to connect these 3 points together, and now I have the sleeve pattern drafted out. So I'll go ahead and add half an inch sewing allowance at the top part of the sleeve here, and that's it. There is no need for allowance at the side of the sleeve because I'm going to end up with an excess fabric which I will cut out after sewing the sleeve to the shirt. So right now I'll go ahead and cut out the sleeve, and I'll use this pattern to cut out another sleeve. But before then, I'll just give this upper part a little notch, give the center sleeve a little notch, and I'll cut out 2 of the sleeve. Meaning I'm going to use this to cut out another sleeve. So right now, after cutting out another sleeve, but before then, let me also give this 2 inches hemming allowance a snip so that I will know where my hemming allowance stops and starts at my sleeve. It will be very easy for me to turn the hem of the sleeve, so I'll just give it a little snip. And after doing that, I will also go ahead and turn the hem of the sleeves as well. You know, it's 2 sleeves, so I'll go ahead and also turn the hem of the sleeves the same way I turned the hem of the shirt. And once I do that, next step will be to sew the sleeve to the shirt. And to do that, center sleeve that I notched, that is the center point of the sleeve that I notched, I'll go ahead and bring it in, and I'll place the right side of the sleeve on the right side of the shirt armhole like this, and I'll make sure that the notched part of the sleeve is lying directly on the shoulder joining, and I'll go ahead and sew the sleeve round like this, round the armhole like this. And after sewing it round, I'll also go ahead and close up the sides of the sleeve, and that is it for joining the sleeves to the armhole of the shirt. And I'll repeat the same thing for the other sleeve as well. So I'll go ahead and do this and come back and show you. And this is what I have. You can see how beautiful it is looking. Moving on, it's time to sew in the collar, and to do that, I'll go ahead and measure round this neckline. So I'll bring in my tape and measure round the neckline like this. And here you can see I have 16 inches around this neckline. So I'll go ahead and bring out a piece of fabric that I've already ironed and estayed to. The purpose of ironing estay to the collar fabric is to give it some form of firmness. And as you can see, I have folded my fabric into two and also ironed this out. For the length, remember after measuring the round neckline, what I got was 16 inches. I added 1 inch for sewing allowance to make it 17 inches. And for the width of the collar, I am going to mark out 3 inches. So the width of the collar is actually 2.5 inches. The remaining half an inch is for the sewing allowance to sew the collar to the neckline of the shirt. And I'll go ahead and cut this out like this. After doing this, because I want this collar to have that slanted kind of shape, that pointy kind of shape at the collar, I'll go ahead and fold it over into two. So I want it to have this kind of shape here. You see these pointy ends are the folded ends of this collar, so that's what I want. So I will go ahead and cut out the pointy sides by just going in by 0.25 inch on the open side like this. I'll just go in by 0.25 inch and slant upward towards the folded side. I hope you understand. So this is what I have. So right now the next step is to go ahead and fold in half an inch on one side of the fabric and iron. So this is what I have. I folded in half an inch here and I ironed it in. And as you can see as well, I have also marked out half an inch to make it easier when sewing in the collar. So what I'll go ahead and do is to go ahead and flip this collar over to the wrong side like this, and I'll close up both ends of the collar using half an inch sewing allowance. So I thought my camera filmed while I was doing this, but it wasn't filming. So what I just did was to cover the zip on the wrong side as well. Yeah, I just cut out a small piece of fabric that is the length of the actual zip, that is the length of the zip, and after which the width was 2.5 inches, and I weaved the edges and I just cut out a slit. And then in sewing it, I just, although this whole covering of the zip on the wrong side is optional, yes, but I thought my camera was filming this whole process, this particular process, but it was not. So I just went ahead to sew it, place the right side of the fabric on the wrong side of the zip and stitch it down, and use aiming gum to, you know, seal it to the fabric, to the shirt. So that was it. So right now it's time to sew in the collar. If that part is confusing to you, just let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to explain further. So in sewing in the zip, the collar, I'll go ahead and place this part of the collar that is not folded in. I will place it on the right side of the fabric round the neckline like this, and I'll go ahead and sew it round. So here I have sewn it round. As you can see, I've closed up both ends of the collar. As you can see, it's giving that pointiness, right? So I'll go ahead and place the same inwards like this, and I'll place it on top of the previous stitch, and I will neatly stitch on the edge of this folded part neatly, and I'll make sure the stitches are straight to give a neat professional look, like I always say. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you. So this is it. As you can see, I've done it from one end to the other. You can see how neat the stitches are looking. So this is what I have after sewing in the collar, and the shirt is ready. So right now I'll go ahead and iron the collars again and every other part that needs ironing. And as you can see, this slit, this is what I was talking about. So you can see the way the stitches on the slit are straight, and that is that for that. And I hope you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. And if you did and you're yet to hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Please click on the subscribe button, and also don't forget to click on the notification button so you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also share this video so that other people who are in need of help on how to make this cool fine shirts can get to, you know, see how to do it, that it is very easy and just required easy steps, and they can do it neatly. And also, if you want to learn how to make this short or knicker for men, link will be on the description box or pinned on the comment section. And I have opened another channel. Yes, don't worry, we'll talk about that in my next video, or rather on my next video. So see you later on my next video and on my new channel. Bye. Mwah.